The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying the content. Subscribe to the channel. Hit us up. Smash the like button, notification. Make sure you know when the next episode is, because you are going to want to check and stay tuned for the next episode that we have. Because we have an independent artist, Latina artist. She has 11 singles under her belt, including international tracks. She's also performed in different shows here locally in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She's very creative, artistic, very much, and a lot more. We have a Texas wildflower, Kristal Skies, in the house. ¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué pasó? Hola, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How are you doing today?
Good.
Awesome.
Good.
Appreciate you taking the time to come and see us. I know you've been busy with a lot of other podcasts, but I hit you up a long time ago. I'm just saying.
You did.
But I appreciate it very much. I stay scheduled ahead of time, and I had also I seen you doing your thing, and we'll get into all that. But let's first start with a segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile. Subscribe to the channel.
Preguntas al Chile.
Graphics that Carlos put together about Preguntas al Chile. You ready?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No.
Everybody says that. Tacos o tortas?
Tacos.
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Corn.
Gorditas o sopes?
Gorditas.
Jarrito or Fanta?
Jarrito.
What flavor?
Tamarindo.
Agua de horchata, Jamaica, tamarindo?
Jamaica.
Yeah, I think Jamaica.
Yeah.
Did you know it's in English it's hibiscus? And I didn't know that for a long time.
Hibiscus flower. Yeah.
Anytime they said hibiscus, I thought it was some exotic stuff. Turns out it was agua de Jamaica.
Yeah.
Okay. Salsa verde or salsa roja? Do you like picante?
Verde and sí. Yes, I like picante. Yeah.
Team salsa verde all day right here. Menudo o pozole?
Pozole all the way.
Okay. Churros or flan?
Churros.
Valentina, Tapatio, Cholula, or Tabasco sauce?
Cholula.
Okay. What dish would you recommend to anyone from South Padre?
Fried shrimp and fish.
Fried shrimp and fish. So if you're around that area, then she's actually from over there. We're going to talk about that too. But you go get that, okay? Yes. Okay, conchitas. Actually, let's go with the paletas. Chile, corn, or the sandía o mango. The little paletitas de dulce.
Oh, sandía.
Sandía.
Yeah.
Y las conchitas, the cornbread. I'm sorry, the cornbreads. Why I keep confusing that? Los pancitos.
Sweet bread.
Concha. The brown ones, the white ones, or the pink ones?
Man, any color, really.
Any color. Conchitas just go.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you hear the word Latino or Latina or Latinx, what first pops into mind?
Definitely culture, history, and strength.
Love it. Okay. And do you mind if anybody calls you Latina? Do you prefer to be called Mexican American? What do you care? Do you get offended?
No, I don't mind. Absolutely not. I'm actually proud to be called a Latina.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This was an addition to, because Carlos and I love a conspiracy theory, and I have posted this on Facebook, but I like it myself.
Mm-hmm.
What is a conspiracy theory that you almost guarantee that is true? Are you into conspiracy theories at all? Like the moon landing, the aliens, anything?
I mean, I definitely think, the UFOs probably at some point maybe landed.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think people hide from stuff.
I think
Anyways,
that would be one.
That was just extra strange. We don't want to make you seem strange, but I thought it was pretty interesting because everybody has a take on some of the things. But you might not be into conspiracies. I do. I enjoy entertaining one and see if, like, could it be true?
Play it like devil's advocate.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
Artist all the way through.
I'm
kind of like not too disappointed, but you didn't bring the pants that you colored in.
I didn't.
Maybe we were expecting the logo painted in there.
I know. I didn't have time, but yeah.
But you look amazing, though.
Thank you. So do you.
The shades that you say you're very proud, you get a lot of compliments. Oh, they're really nice, really popping. And you did bring a suit, too.
Yes.
Kind of. So we're matching a
Kind
little
of.
bit.
Yeah, just a little blazer.
Yeah, and the gloves and everything. Oh, superstar in the house for
Thank
sure.
you. You look
Okay.
great.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Okay, here we go. So you grew up in the Rio Grande Valley, the RGB, especially in South Padre Island.
Correct.
However, you moved to Austin and then moved to Dallas. What brought you to the Dallas area, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, family and work, definitely.
Family and work.
Mhm.
And then as far as like the Dallas, once you got to Dallas, like how was the culture like? What did you like about it? Did you embrace it all the way immediately, or you're kind of like still growing on you?
Well, it was definitely intimidating for me.
Yeah? Why is
Uh,
that?
Well, I was just a first-time mom when I moved here.
Mhm.
I had just had my little girl, so it was just a bigger city. I came from Austin, so because I transitioned from the Valley to Austin for a while,
Right.
and Austin was just a little smaller and a little bit more laid back.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the people were just a little bit different, so I was a little intimidated when I got here, but eventually, I started to learn my way around and kind of I started to explore the city and I kind of just grew to really love Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas is awesome. Austin is weird.
It is.
Shout out to my Austin people, but yeah, kind of strange. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you nothing new. Okay, so your
No.
father used to own a restaurant and a club. Or I don't know if the restaurant and the club it was for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the restaurant that he used to, an Italian restaurant, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Seafood
A
restaurant.
seafood restaurant.
Right. Out
Okay.
on South Padre and Port Isabel, Marchand's.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was French, more like based, but it was still seafood, right?
Mm-hmm. Seafood.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. And then the club, was it within the restaurant or was it something separate?
The club, I really don't even know much information.
That was after your time?
Definitely was. So it was just kind of mentioned to me in like historical,
Yeah.
stories given down from, family. But I never went to the club. I was never taken there at that point. But the restaurant, I do remember.
Do you remind me again the name of it? What was the name?
Marchand's.
Marchand's. And did you used to work at the restaurant?
No.
Or you used to go over there? And
I never worked there. But I just remember kind of like running around as a baby,
Really?
in the restaurant.
So you must have been little bitty when it was still open and operating.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And what is the most thing that stands out to you as far as being at the restaurant besides running around? Anything in particular?
Just being around a lot of cooking, I would say. I got to see just I don't remember much. And I just kind of looked through photographs, but just being around seafood and eating a lot of it. I remember fried shrimp was like my favorite.
Yeah?
Yeah.
To this day, still the same?
Still to this day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And did it influence you at all? I don't know if you cook or not, but did it influence you to kind of sort of like in the kitchen a little bit or not
I
really?
love to cook when I
Really?
do. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so in 2020, you began taking your career, as far as your music career, more seriously. What exactly, besides the pandemic, of course, I still trips me out that we were locked up for almost a year. You know that? It's
I
still
know.
not sinking in. But besides the pandemic, us being locked up, what other live event kind of sort of help you push get into that? Because you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that were seeking different things.
Right.
But what happened as far as you wanted to push and take this seriously and take it to another level?
Well, I mean, music was always a part of my life, kind of growing up. I began to kind of just sing really early on. From when I was a child, I began to try to get in front of my family and perform.
Tell us the story about the paper towel
I used to use the carton of the napkin roll because it projected my voice out of the little hole.
Yeah.
So, when I was like about 3 years old, I started to use that as a fake microphone.
Yeah.
And getting any opportunity I could to perform with like mariachis, because we always had like fiestas going on and my parents always had music.
Right.
That was important. in our culture and my upbringing. So then I was in choir for a long time. So that really helped me build a lot of the knowledge, about how to properly sing, how to use your core and, how to do notes and just different things of that nature.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of just something that was instilled in my life. But then, of course, life happens.
Of course.
Then motherhood becomes a focus totally, and it still is, and it always is. However, there was a gap, and then the pandemic hit. And at that point, there was kind of just no work for a minute for like everyone, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was kind of hard for me because I'm just the kind of person that like I always have to be working and moving. And for me, that was just a time that I picked up and began to write my first track. And so basically kind of when the world stopped, it gave me the opportunity to like really work.
Yeah. But there was no other significant event that pushed you to grab the pen and start writing that particular song? Because that song says a little bit about
yes,
something.
yes, the pandemic and obviously a breakup, a breakup and being in love and all that. So yes.
It's weird, right? Like it's strange to having to go through a breakup. Or it's strange just to go through hard stuff in general, right?
Right.
But I've been saying it lately more. There's a lot of the things, good things happen once those bad things happen. Like there's really, for the most part, something that happens really good, which is like something stirred inside of you to want to grab the pen and start expressing those feelings of what was going on, right? And then make it into a song, which was the name of the song,
La Vida de Mi Ex.
La Vida de Mi Ex, which is cool that you can. As I was telling another artist I had before, that you can take things that are happening, whether it will be a regular day or things like that, and then you can make those emotions and put them into a song and into music and create a song.
Right.
And then it's pretty dope. So if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the songs that you have are expressions of real life events that happens to you.
Right.
Not just like, I'm going to just rhyme this with that. I'm just going to rhyme this with that, but add the fact that my life is those events that happen to me too.
Right.
So that's pretty cool that you do that.
Yes.
Okay, but so a breakup led into you, and that breakup actually led into a lot of things of you creating. It opened up a different thing in you because you did a lot of music that's related to that. We'll talk about it here in a second. Okay, so from singing like through the tube of the paper towel. If you've done it, if you're a kid and you've done it before, I know I've done it before. At least make noises.
Right.
At least like woo or whatever. So from doing that as being a kid to actually singing with mariachis and then singing with the choir to recording international tracks that have been all over the place. How does that feel for you?
It definitely feels fulfilling.
Yeah.
It does. I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. Can you feel it's still real or surreal, or do you feel like from 2020, it's only been 2 years ago, to all of a sudden like you're being like at it?
Right.
Like, do you feel like it's real or not real or a dream? Sometimes I feel like it's like literally life feels like a movie sometimes to me.
It is a movie. I feel like life is kind of like a documentary in a way. Yeah. All the events that we experience is like a documentary of our life. We were just kind of talking about that on the way over here, actually.
I think you're right, but I think, sometimes a memory only records moments.
Right.
Like the moment of you being at your dad's and running around, you remember it as a memory, right?
Memory, totally.
Or the breakup as a memory. You might not feel that great, but it's like a memory, right?
Right.
Like, so many years that we pass by on earth that we don't realize certain things, but all certain moments, like we can't, like, they're like so vivid to us in our mind that we just like, oh wow, it was just a moment, but I can remember it still.
Yeah, because it impacted us in some way.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. Okay, so as far as like, so your family, all your family has been, let me go back to this question. Tell me your name, your Kristal Skies. Where did the name originated? How did you come up with it? Was there any thought behind it as far as your creation of the artist name?
Well, I mean, I kind of, like I said before, I'm going to get the tattoo here on my shoulder of the sun and moon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like connected to the sky in some way. I love the moon. I'm always kind of following like the lunar calendar and things like that. So that's kind of where the name idea came from, Kristal Skies. And of course, you want to kind of have something that just is unique at the same time. So.
Okay, so you felt some kind of connection with the moon, with the sky itself. Is it the crystal part something related to the government name, or not necessarily? You just like the name.
Kristal, like my name.
Uh-huh.
Well, my real name is.
Your real name is.
Yeah, my legal real name is.
And then the sky, you just felt some attachment to. Do you remember the moment where you said, skies, that's got to be it?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Well, was you the only one that came up with the name, or was somebody else?
No, just me. I came up with the name.
But
it
had
was just one of those random, okay, well, this kind of, to me, sounds catchy because I'm all about like catchy things. And as you know, in my songs, they're kind of catchy. So I thought it's unique and I haven't heard it before. So.
Since you're tied to since you love the sky so much, would you ever bungee jump? Or not, skydive? Skydive?
Would I ever? I mean, I have kind of done something similar to that.
Don't tell me the one where you go and they throw you in the tube. No, not that.
No,
right?
you kind of like swing off of a high point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like bungee jumping, but you're just like at an angle.
I see what you're talking about. Those big old swing. I mean, that one's cool, but skydiving, skydiving.
Maybe I would.
That'd
Why
be
not?
pretty cool. I'm gonna do it.
Are you?
I wasn't thinking of doing it anymore, but all of a sudden I'm like, I mean, I don't want to say YOLO because it is YOLO. Like, where are those people at now? Well, they found out it's only one time for real. But I've been having a feeling of getting it, like doing that more for me.
Why not? I mean, I say go for it.
Yeah. Will you do it? Yeah.
If you do it.
Okay. We're going to pinky promise after the podcast.
Okay.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for sure. Okay. So your mom was actually, not only is there anybody else that does any kind of art? Because I know for sure your mom did a little bit of, in the entertainment business, a little bit acting. But was there anybody else in your entire family that that does a little bit of something?
No, other than just, my parents being really eccentric and my mom doing a little acting, and that's really about it.
Okay, tell me what your mom did, because you were telling me a little bit about the acting she did. Can you share with us what it is that she did before?
Yeah, she did Mexican acting with the luchadores.
So I don't know. I was telling you, we were messaging like them dudes with the mascaras and everything. They were like superheroes to me.
I know.
They were badass.
They were like the Mexican Batman.
They were. They put the mascaras. They gonna fight the vampires or whatever. And we were like, we had the little figures too. So we were like, that is freaking. So whenever you told me that, I was like, that is dope.
Yeah.
That is so dope. Did you know how many movies she did? Was she just maybe did a cameo in a few movies? Did she ever share with you that?
She didn't go into much detail. She's kind of kept a lot of her life in a vault. But
why do you feel that she don't want to share with you? Was she a wildflower like you or no tanto?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, only because I've kind of seen through photos, like I said, just very eccentric people.
Really?
Yeah.
And when you say eccentric, what exactly are you meaning? Can you the word to me just kind of, I don't get it yet, I guess. But can you kind of elaborate a little bit more?
Definitely just more of a carefree childhood, a lot, like I said, a lot of music around, a lot of culture, a lot of definitely family gatherings. So family oriented.
Gotcha.
They traveled like a lot to Spain and Italy and things of that nature. But like, I don't think I was around at that point yet. So
really?
Yeah.
So before,
I think I was like conceived in Spain, when they were like traveling. So.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel that that it could have been possibly in Spain?
It's just like typical.
Because I felt like I was conceived around, because my birthday is November 19th. So if you do the math, falls around
Your
Valentine's.
birthday's November 19th? That's my mom's birthday.
That's happy birthday to her whenever 19 get here.
Yeah. Man,
But-
y'all are hardcore Scorpios then.
They say that, but I think we're not too borderline. I don't even know what that means. I'm not into horoscopes a lot. I hear what it says. Maybe.
Very strong sign.
Is it?
Yes.
I know that for sure. Like
Very
in the gym.
powerful, yes.
See this right here? That's not because of the gym. That's a Scorpio in me.
Yeah.
Okay, so so November, I lost the train of thought. But anyways, moving on. So the luchador, that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, I'm sorry, thought came back. So I was born November 19th, but if you do the math, it was around February-ish time when I maybe might have been conceived.
Oh, like Valentine's.
I would say Valentine's. So I'm a love child. That's all I say.
Yeah.
Okay, so your entire family's is from Texas, right? Actually, you are a mix. You're Mexican and French, if I'm not mistaken. So your dad was actually born in France,
Right.
or he has family here.
Born.
So
Born
your dad, and then she met your mom, and your mom is Mexican.
Correct.
Okay, but your family's been in South Padre the most of their lives, right? So they're not like the Mexicans that you would say were born in Mexico, right?
Right.
Correct. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, they just I guess they migrated. I mean, I don't know much of the history going back that far, but you know, I do know that the Rio Grande Valley, you know, is just where we grew up.
That's y'all for your knowledge, as far as you can go back, y'all always been there.
Yeah.
So even though you consider yourself, I don't know if you consider yourself Mexican or more American or anything, but
Mexican American,
but you've been, as far as to your earlier knowledge and your families, y'all always been there.
Right.
And it's funny because your great grandfather, Jose Nicolas Bailly, aka Padre Bailly, was the original grantee of the Texas coastal island, later named Padre Island, in his honor.
Right.
That is freaking wild.
I
Did you know this when you was growing up?
Not right away, but I learned, you know, as I got older, I kind of learned about it through the whole lawsuit because it became an active part of my life. I kind of went to some of the hearings when the trial was going on, and so I learned about the history then, and it was definitely interesting.
Not to get too much into the history, but can you tell us what happened? So your family was involved. So the island is named after your grandfather.
Correct.
Or great-grandfather. That's like absolutely is documented. It's on, you can look it up.
Right.
But what happened was, if I'm not mistaken, what I was gathering from the story is that when people came in and bought or started buying some of the things, the deeds were turned over from some of your ancestors or some of your, I don't know if they're still somebody that you knew, but they never got paid for selling those parts. And those are the heirs after your grandfather had already, you know, passed away and passed the land over to his kids. And then later on, they had to sue because there were mineral rights included and there were money that was owed and then they never got paid for. Do you remember exactly what happened at that time? Or to your best recollection?
Well, from what I understand and what I've kind of heard is just that there was a major language barrier back in that time. And that's why a lot of the documents went astray the way they did. Because, you know, Mexicans didn't know English back then.
Yeah.
And so the buyers, like from New York, they somehow got a hold of the deeds.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a good happy ending. There's a lady, I don't know if you know who she is. I don't know if she must be related to you. She actually found the deeds.
Right.
And later on they were able to get compensated for the money that they were owed.
Right.
Like many years ago.
Right.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel when you first started learning about it? I don't know if you were still like too young to know, but later as a grown up, did you make you feel any type of way?
I mean, you know, it's like a bittersweet story, you know, and it just, when I see the statue there, you know, it just reminds me of kind of like where we're from and just the whole, everything that happened, you know. So yeah, it makes me feel proud to be from where I'm from.
So what area exactly is the statue? The statue, by the way, is of her great grandfather. It's on South Padre Island. So what area is it at?
It's right as you cross the bridge.
Uh-huh.
So as you cross the bridge, you'll see like the South Padre sign, and you'll see the statue there.
And that's your great grandfather.
Correct.
That's freaking crazy to me. I don't know that you feel like it's just normal for you, but to me, I think it's super dope because I never met somebody that a city or a whole island was named after, or at least their great grandfather.
Right.
So it's
yeah,
pretty cool.
no, it is cool. I've taken photos out there. Like,
Yeah,
I need to go back and visit.
imagine a video over there.
That would be cool. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are a huge advocate against bullying and suicide prevention. Where does that come from as far as for you to be or care for that at all? I know it's only obvious, right? But sometimes it hits us different as far as the reason why we want to be advocates or talk about that. Why is that for you?
I just have had, family experiences in that respect with suicide. And, just being an advocate for that is important to me. Just letting people know that there's always somebody to talk to and being able to just spread the awareness.
Okay. I'm very sorry for your loss, but I appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
And it is very important. I'm weird sometimes. I look at stuff up, and I've Googled the reason why people do it, and I don't seem to have an answer. But I think first is a lot of combination of stuff, but it's always good to just keep letting people know that there's still hope. Yeah. And that it's not the end and there is help out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, okay, let's get to the music part. I know we get into some serious things, but I thought it was pretty super interesting to talk about the fact of your great grandfather has a statue and an island after him. So 11 singles. Yes. So you have La Vida de Mi Ex, which is the first one that got everything started.
Correct.
Termino, Navi Trap, Un Poquito Más, Quédate la Noche, Dile, No Quiero Nada, Escápate, Amor Irregular, Cupido, y Un Beso.
Yes.
So far. Mm-hmm. And they're all singles.
Yes.
Dang. And that's in the span of 2 years, too.
Yes, correct.
Where do you get all this inspiration from besides just regular events? Or how do you maintain staying busy and doing, that's quite a bit of singles, to be honest.
Right.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because this world that we live on, where it's TikTok, where it's 7 seconds, 15 seconds, and it's over. Right. It's super important to stay consistent.
Absolutely.
Where do you find the time or how do you do it?
I mean, it's definitely important, like you say, to stay inspired, and again, through life events, making sure, excuse me, that I'm documenting, how I'm feeling at the time, I guess I would say.
So, so what is your process for you as far as making a song? Do you find the beat? Do your producer sends you the beat or a package of beats and then you kind of go through them and find the one that you kind of goes with some of the things that you were going through? How does your process?
It could be different sometimes. Like sometimes I'll start off with a beat and, if I get an idea, I'll write it down and then it'll just kind of start to grow. Mm-hmm. And then other times, it'll start with the song and the lyrics first. And a lot of the times it'll start with a hook for me. Yeah. So, either the coro or the hook, the catchy part, like I was kind of saying earlier.
Yeah, I mean, hustle and flow. The hook is the most important part that you can have on a song. That's what's going to keep the people checking the rest of your track.
That's kind of like the hook. Mm-hmm. It's what's going to hook them.
Yeah. So. And where is it? So it's crazy to me that you have 11 singles because your people that you work with as far as the music, the producer, they're all over the place, right? So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, they're kind of just international. Mm-hmm. So they work remotely. I work with a producer out of Peru, Eric O.C. Mm-hmm. So he's done a lot of my tracks. And then, of course, there's Tower Beats, who's also out of Peru. And then there are local, studios that I have worked with here in the Dallas area as well.
What is somebody? I think you've been in the Valley of the Kings before, right? Or no?
In
Dallas? Or what studios have you recorded here?
Be Melodic and El Músico on Jefferson.
Oh, okay. So you stayed in that area as far as recording wise. So they just pretty much just record your vocals and everything, and then just you send them over to the session to the producers and then do their magic?
Correct. Or like if there's a special situation, they'll do, the track. Like Be Melodic did Escapate, for instance. So I recorded here locally, and he also produced the track. So in that case.
Nice. That's wild. Yeah. And not only have you done those tracks so far, so let me ask you this, though. I'm going to tell you my favorite.
Which one?
For me, Cupido was hitting so hard today. It's not even funny.
It's a great song. It
really
is
a great song because it says that yo tengo todo lo quiero and then más. Like, I don't know why it hit so hard for me. I just liked it. And I was jamming. Like,
it kind of makes you think.
It makes you think. It makes you be grateful.
Yeah.
It makes you be grateful that you have everything, todo lo que tienes y más. Like, not only do you have everything you need, but you have extra on top of what you already need.
Right.
And I think it's pretty dope that sometimes we don't feel like we don't take the opportunity to be grateful for everything that we have. We always want to shoot for more. And I think a lot of the times we got to super appreciative for the fact that other people have to go find water, have to go get food, and we just like literally walk into a grocery store and it's ours.
Yep. It's so true.
That was my favorite track so far. I see Amor Irregular, how it would be your favorite track. But why is that one? I know why it's your favorite one, Amor Irregular.
Right.
So it was because of the breakup, and it was because of the same Salvadoreño, if I'm not mistaken. That is the reason why. Is that why it's so heartfelt for you? Hits hard, hits home, and that the reason why you wanted to spend a little bit more time on getting the video out for that one?
Because I wrote it with like so much love, and when you put that kind of energy into something that you can create, manifest, and then like share, like throw out to the world, it's definitely more important, and it hits a different spot, I would say.
For you, that song, is it more of like therapy and getting the emotions out, or do you just want to, I don't know if you're cool with that person or not. I think you're not together anymore or whatever, but is it more of a, you just wanted to make it so special because of the moment that you have together?
Yeah. And like I've said before, when God kind of puts people in your path for whatever reason, and you connect and you just kind of let that flow,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know exactly why that song is your favorite. That's all I'm going to say. I know. And the video actually drops today.
It does, yes.
So we're recording this on, what is that, January the 20th today?
Correct.
So it drops today. If we're going to insert a little clip of it, so I'm going to remind Carlos to let me know. So what time does it drop today?
Hopefully tonight, like before 7 is the plan. Yes.
So
I'll
supposed to drop today.
Posted.
Things happen, but once it drops, then if you don't mind, we'd like to share a little video.
Yes, absolutely.
Of Amor Irregular.
Okay.
Which you use. There were some sponsors that you had working on that video. Can you tell us a little bit about the sponsors?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jesse's Performance sponsored the vehicle that's in the video.
A Trans Am, beautiful with a gold pin. Man, it's a beautiful car.
Super cool car, man. Super cool car and super cool people.
Yeah.
If you haven't already checked out their shop, they do a lot of work on, all kinds of awesome cars. And Echo Latino Radio also did sponsor on that for locations.
Very quickly, we just want to jump in to let you know, thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and back to the episode. Echo Latino, what do they do?
Their radio station.
Their radio station in the Dallas area?
Correct. Echo Latino. I believe it's, I don't want to quote it, but 99.6, but I may be wrong.
Okay. If you give it to me, we'll put it in the description. So that way I usually include all the stuff.
I'll confirm.
And I include the your channel and everything.
Okay.
So we'll make sure we add it in there.
Yes.
And what else? Who else?
Along with them, Hilda Duarte, one of the presidents of the LULAC Association.
Mm-hmm.
She's a big fan of the music. So she teamed up with Eco Latino and they kind of, did the partnership on the sponsorship. So thank you to them.
So do they usually, I know they're pretty important for you as far as sponsors, right? But a lot of artists don't really maybe know how to go about sponsoring. So you just introduce yourself. They saw the music, they liked it. Did you pitch something to them? Or did they offer because of what you were doing and your story that they liked it, they wanted to help?
Kind of a little bit of both, really. Sometimes it's about a pitch, it's somebody that's not super familiar maybe with your music, but kind of learning a little bit about you. And you kind of see some opportunity to help each other out. So it's all about like networking the right opportunities, I would say.
And for them, as far as within the video, what, of course, the car is going to be one of them, and the credits are going to give it to them. But LULAC and the other ones, what actually do they get? Or they just did a financial contribution and also credits on the video?
Credits, both. Credits on the video, also financial contribution. And, just believing in the movement, I guess, believing in the music and being a supporter in that way also.
The reason I ask is because there's a lot of independent artists in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that it takes money. It takes quite a bit of money to make projects.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of them limit themselves to the fact that they don't have it instead of finding a way, first of all, with whatever you have to create something.
Oh, yeah.
But if you don't have that either, then you can always try to see if anybody was willing to sponsor. But you'll be surprised how many people are willing to be happy to be on a video with whatever they have, their product.
Oh, absolutely.
Like product placement.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad that you shared it with me because a lot of them sometimes might not, maybe it's a brain blockage that they don't realize that there's opportunities out there as long as you ask.
Right. And there's a lot of resources for them. So
I think I think some of your sponsors see the consistency of the 11 singles, not to mention like you're committed to this in a very short time. Usually for myself here on the podcast, I like to get people that have been doing it for a longer time.
Right.
Like I know we'll talk about it here shortly, but Mandy Red, Louis the Great, and all the other ones that I've done have done it for a longer time. They've been consistent with it. Some not so much, but still they have a love for it, right? But within the 2-year time frame, you actually have made quite a bit of an impact, even in the Dallas, because you're getting recognized in different places.
Right.
And some of the people, I know because I know some of the people that you interact with, and I know that your name is getting around within here.
Right.
So, and then I see the sponsors believe in you. That's the reason why they do. So if you're an independent artist, you do really have to believe in yourself in order for them to believe in you.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise,
number one. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're just like you're just gonna in one ear, not the other.
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself. That's the number one key.
Okay, so you mentioned before, we'll talk about the projects you have coming up, but you have mentioned before that you were from the hood or very hood-like. Is that how the area where you came, was that what it was? Did you go through some really tough times growing up as a teenager or whatever?
Like tough times, yeah. I mean, I think we all kind of go through our childhood, experiences, either good or bad. But there obviously was a time in childhood where like my parents had split up. So, then we moved and things changed. So, I was always working really early on. So I always had watched the work ethic of my dad, like in the restaurant, those are the memories that I have, from being little.
Yeah.
Like just watching my parents always work and hustle, even in their own atmosphere, restaurant it was. But I worked always early on. So my work ethic, and I think that's what's giving me the opportunity to do so much in such a little amount of time, like you mentioned, because I've just always had that hustle. I've got to be working, I've got to be moving forward, and just, what's next kind of mentality.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's just no time to waste, I guess.
Well, my question was, how hood are you?
How hood am I?
Was it really tough at that times when you were growing up?
Not super tough, but, I think moving around a lot was more of the challenge for me.
Yeah. And were you...
And then, of course, like I mentioned, always working, to support myself.
So you have to start hustling at an early age for yourself to get it.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Yeah.
The another thing that I know about you is, too, that you look into a lot of the things that need to be done as far as an independent artist, or the things that you need to be aware of, such as ASCAP, BMI, publishing, and things like that. I wasn't testing you when I messaged you about BMI or ASCAP, but I was just...
Oh, I know.
But I just knew, like, how deep are you as far as knowing how much research have you done as far as what this takes, or what it takes to be an artist, or what it takes to be an artist with a purpose, as far as not just making a song just to make a song, but how can we get it out to people and really make an impact? You have quite a bit of Spotify listeners. I don't know if you checked them, but I checked.
Yes, I have.
And it's pretty cool to know that you do it with a purpose, not just... It's cute to do a song, but it's not so cute if nobody listens to it.
Right.
And that's crazy that you know where to put it, how to get it, how to move, and things like that.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right. You have all kinds of things that are coming up. So you have Ride or Die.
Right.
The other one is Genie. Mm-hmm. And okay, so tell me about Ride or Die. So that one is more of like catered to the lowrider community or the car scene community. Is it more hip hop?
Yes.
Okay.
More bilingual.
Mm-hmm. More hip hop. And when is that one gonna be coming out? And is it a single?
Yes, it's a single. Mm-hmm. It's currently in production.
Got you.
It's currently pending maybe a couple of ad-libs that I'm working on.
Got you.
So I do sometimes work out of like my own studio in my home. So I'm able to do small things like that. Like,
so you record your own stuff sometimes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I talk about
a lot
creative.
of the times, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
So you have an estimated time about when it's going to be coming out, or not yet?
It's in production right now. So hopefully within the next month, I'm hoping.
I think so.
February, latest March.
I like your covers that you come up with.
Thank you.
Like for Cupido, the dark seat with the dark. You do a lot of change of hair. But it looks pretty good because it goes with the sound of it. Anybody would expect Cupido to be like lovey-dovey, but then when you hit the track, we're like, ooh.
It's a little dark, yeah.
It's a little dark.
Definitely.
But it goes with it. And the trap sound remind me a little bit of the Bad Bunny from way back in the days type of sound. With minus the stuff. But it was pretty cool. And then all the other artwork that you have for your stuff. So who does your artwork?
I do.
You do your artwork? Mm-hmm. Like you actually make it in...
Which ones? Like the covers?
The covers.
Sometimes it'll be outsourced.
Gotcha.
Like certain ones, I'll use a third party, or like I've done some of my own covers too.
Like, do you have the software?
I do. I have the software. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Canva. I use Canva.
You use Canva?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm telling you, you got to be resourceful as far as when you're coming up. You have to find a way, not cut corners, but really find a way to make it work. Like,
yeah, and I mean, like, we're creatives, know? So, like, all that stuff is, like, it's fun. It's part of the process, and it's just, if you're a creative, then you're cool with doing things like that for yourself.
But I just feel you're so meticulous as far as even know that the song, Cupido, like, I'm just giving an example because that one stands up to me more.
Right.
But know that the song sounds like that, and then give it the cover to make it go with it.
To back it up. Yeah.
So I know it's meticulously done. I don't think it was
an
an accident. And it was like, that is freaking dope that she did that. Okay, so we have that one pending. Coming soon, is in the works. Ride or Die. Like March, just hopefully. A couple things going on, but in production. Mm-hmm. Genie, what is that one about? Yeah.
Genie is just straight up about a genie. It's a song about deseos, about the genie. It's like a little story. The video that I have in mind is going to kind of like a little movie in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it is more of trap comercial, so definitely more of a commercial trap beat.
Mm-hmm.
The instrumentals on this track is actually by a Latin Grammy-winning producer. So super excited.
Who was that?
Dino, the Beatlionaire.
Okay, and that's the one that you were taking your time with.
Right, but it's fully written already, and now it just needs to be tracked and recorded. So I'm working on it.
So you're working on that one, and that's going to be something that with a Grammy winner producer. I keep slipping my hand.
The beat is great. I mean, I think people will really like it.
Yeah. I think on the Cupido, the only thing that I wanted more on that one was a couple more ad-libs on it. Because I think of the other ones that you're done, como La Vida de Mi Ex, it has those. I wanted to hear a couple of little more things. Or that thump. Wow. But other than
more
that,
ad-lib.
it was freaking dope.
Good feedback, though.
No, but I mean, I used to do, like, be in there, too.
Yeah.
And hearing all the stuff. And one of the persons that used to tell me, like, I think it was Danny Boom. We actually interviewed him. Was like, or somebody told me, I don't remember. It might have been him. That you put your track, play your track on whatever setup you have.
Right.
One of the commercial tracks that they play. Now play your track. If it's not real close to or the same, then you need to work on it.
Yeah.
So that's what I was always hear that part too. And on Vida de Mi Ex, I can hear the change. I can hear that. Migos are really good with the outlets as far as the way that they play and harmonize and stuff. And it's always full. Like their stacks, probably as far as where they record is like stacked.
I'm sure.
But it's pretty cool that you know about those ad-libs. And you were saying earlier about you need to record some ad-libs. But I'm like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so Jeannie Pendin, Enloqueciendo is another single?
It is another single. It's already a, tracked project, so in production as well.
Also, también. So you're sticking with the same producers todavía? You already formulated like a group, the team that you talked about?
Correct. I've stayed with the same crew that has been kind of running the show since day one. So.
Got you. Mm-hmm. And so you also did a collab with MB Ryder, and it's supposed to be maybe around April?
Yes, that's a projected date for the MB Ryder track. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how did that come about?
They approached me with a really cool instrumental with Zigzag from NB Ryder.
And you ran into them probably at the Fair Park one?
Yeah, I ran into them at the Fair Park show. I did the Tourist Empire show there.
Yeah.
And, we just decided it would be maybe an idea to kind of see if I would get inspired on the instrumental. And I did, and I ended up writing a really cool couple of, verses on it. Mm-hmm. And I tracked my vocals and sent them over, and
you just waiting for it to be ready. Yeah. That's pretty
It's
cool.
already done. They're working on like cover art and stuff of that nature. So
got you. Mm-hmm. And I know you have mentioned on other interviews that you would like to collab with people here in the DFW because you're right, we do have a lot of talent. But the only thing that I don't like about now, even then when I was doing music, is the fact that there's a lot of talking and not enough doing. Like, right. I love that y'all talking about doing collabs. I really do. I really hope that y'all do, especially yourself, Mandy Red, Christy Lux, Wavy Celine, which I think she's making a wave. I've heard of her. I haven't seen her. Mm-hmm. And there's other females. That's just the females. The guys, right. There's like a couple of them, right? But still, it's pretty cool. But there's so much freaking talking usually that there's nothing gets done. And I think for me, at least in 2023, if you're just talking to me, I'm not going to listen to you unless you're talking about doing something now, and get it done.
Right.
So besides the ones that you feel like are going to be able to come to fruition, Mandy Red, you're working on something.
Right.
You already started talking about it, kind of sort of laying the plan.
Yes, we're kind of just in the beginning stages of like a potential project. So,
okay.
Yep.
I hope it gets done. And then what other collabs would you like to get done?
Like locally, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, locally.
Just some of the artists that you mentioned already. Like I've seen a lot of Christy Lux work. I've seen Crystal Popping. I love her music. Animes and G Love out of Houston are really dope.
Yeah, I got to interview them. They're super dope.
They are dope. Yeah. I love their vibe, and they're just so like energetic and positive. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool talent in the DFW and just Texas area in general.
Yeah, the only reason why I keep emphasizing, I don't think on every single person that comes there by collab is because I don't know if it's true or not, but I seen the TikTok, like everybody says TikTok, and I seen the guy that was talking about, and I don't even know if the story's true, but it makes sense, right? So when the reggaetoneros were first coming up, they used to do each other collabs on the song, like remixes all the time.
Yeah.
Like you have Amor Irregular or whatever there might be. Hey, I have a song right here. Like, do the remix.
Right.
Do the remix. It wasn't even the video sometimes. It was just the audio. They did it. Same thing for the other guy. And they just kept that going for years. You all, ladies, right now are like, y'all can really run the market as far as in the DFW area.
Right.
If y'all continue to do that for a few years, before you know it, y'all have to go through y'all ladies in order for anybody to be anything within the DFW.
Right.
Because there will not be nobody.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense because what he was saying is that your track would introduce people to the other people's audience and they'll do the same thing. Like,
exactly.
You know, not take advantage of the other person, but like literally leverage on each other's fan base back and forth until y'all grow into this thing that's like the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, cross networking for sure.
Yeah. So I'm not telling y'all what to do, but I'm saying logically to me when I see that, like, makes a lot of sense. But I see the fact of who's right now relevant within music in the DFW, and I see the possibilities of y'all being, like, again, the biggest thing coming out for a long time.
Thank you. I believe
it's
that.
Up to y'all. Okay, so you also have another collab you done before that are internationally, correct? So tell me about those.
Well, I did the peace song out of India with the St. Francis Ministries, and that has over 250 tracks on the song and over 72 countries involved. So I was kind of chosen to represent the U.S.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that was really fun. I did a whole like video and studio for it, sent them so they'll use that footage for part of their video when they drop that project.
Yeah, so it's supposed to drop in November sometime.
It was.
And then what happened? They just moving it still?
Yeah, they've have so many moving parts to the project, so it got a little delayed, but it is something to look forward to.
Yeah. And how did that opportunity come about? How did they find you? Did you reach out to them? How did that go?
They heard one of my songs, and that's how they reached out. So they became a fan of the music first and then connected with me on that level. And I agreed to it because, you know, I just think it's important as an artist to kind of stay versatile and, you know, not just stay stuck in just one kind of path, but kind of keep your options kind of open and experiment. Like music is universal. Yeah. So that's why I took it.
And that one's a peace song, but it's in India.
Yes, it's coming out of Goa, India.
And is that, what genre of song is it for that one?
It's definitely, I would call it like peace music. It's about like world peace straight up. It's about, you know, like ending racism and bringing everybody together. And it's just a really powerful song.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay, so you also have No Quiero Nada and Pensando en Ti.
Yes.
With Erica O.C.?
Eric O.C.
Eric O.C.
Correct.
Okay, and that's another one that you did collab with, and he is from
Peru.
Peru.
Yes.
Okay. I seen something about
and Venezuela really originally, but it's now based in Peru.
I seen something about Italy. What was that one?
That was Dile.
Dile.
Yes, that project was signed to a label out of Italy.
Okay, so you're independent, but you work with them for that song.
For just one project, yes. Dile. For Dile.
And something happened with a video. Tell me the story behind that.
Well, we lost some tracks and it just...
For the video?
Yes, for the video in the beginning. So we kind of had to go back and record again. But, you know, it was just a fun challenge and definitely a lot of work. But yeah. And they sponsored the video. So we were able to put their product in the video and kind of utilize that. So.
Yeah, which one was it?
The Santero, Dile wine.
The Dile wine.
Yeah, so they had a collection called Dile, and it just so happened that I wrote Dile when they were trying to launch their collection.
So did you do the song first and then they found that song, or did you?
No, they didn't know I was writing Dile. They contacted me
What?
because they liked La Vida de Mi Ex.
That's freaking wild. That you had a song Dile,
Yes.
and they have a collection.
They had the collection. I didn't know about it because it's on the other side of the world. We don't even sell it in the U.S. yet. So, yeah, they were like, well, what, we love La Vida de Mi Ex. Like, what do you have working on next? And I was writing Dile at the time.
See how it's a movie? See how it's all a movie?
It just it was like serendipity.
Like the stars align for you sometimes when you're on the path, and it's freaking wild.
Yeah, and they sent me the bottles of Dile
that.
from Italy.
I thought it was props, to be honest.
No.
I didn't realize that he actually was with the brand of the whatever they were launching.
Yeah, I gave them away. It took a long time to get here because they came from overseas.
Yeah.
And there was fees for them and all that. But they had a hand imprint. So they were really cool. But yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, look at her with the details, which I know you're into details, but I didn't realize it wasn't a prop. It was like a...
And it wasn't planned.
That's freaking nuts.
At all. Yeah.
Blow my mind again.
Yeah,
That's
mind
freaking
blowing,
wild.
definitely.
Okay, Renaissance with Xenon and Hasan Baba.
Yes, they're out of Iran.
Iran. That's the track you did with Iran. And how did that one come to be too? Did they find you as well?
They also, became just lovers of, my movement and the music. And they reached out with some really amazing instrumentals that I was pretty blown away by. And I got inspired to write on it. And that song is about the lunar eclipse, the red one that happened on January 21st a couple of years ago.
Don't they call it the blood eclipse or something like that? So you wrote that.
I wrote about that eclipse in that song, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I heard that song. Was it in English or Spanish?
Just my part is in Spanish.
In Spanish?
And the rest is in their language.
Their language.
Correct.
That's crazy. How do you feel that they just find you, reach out, and you look them up? And because I'm pretty sure you do your homework.
Yeah.
And they seem legitimate, and then they want to work with you.
I mean, sometimes it's a risky business, you're just not sure.
Yeah.
But you really, like I said before, there's got to be a connection. You got to feel good about it. And for me, quality too. I have to like it.
Yeah.
I have to like it for me.
Yeah.
So that's important.
That's crazy. And then you have, Iran, Peru, Italy, and then what else? What other places?
Well, Venezuela, as I mentioned before, and
yeah, Venezuela.
And just locally, I would say.
Okay. So La Vida de Mi Ex, that one was in 2020. You filmed it during the pandemic, but you had all kinds of stuff going on for that one, right? You had Airbnbs, you did different shootings. Can you tell me about that one? First of all, it was your first first video ever, music video, right?
Right.
And then, so how did you start learning about what to do, how to storyboard and everything?
And I did storyboard, I sketched everything out before we got there. So my team kind of had a plan of what scenes went where, because, another language barrier, they didn't understand the lyrics, they didn't know the Spanish. So I really had to help in that respect. But it was definitely an experience. We filmed in Highland Park for, the most part of the video, the outdoor scenes. And then, yes, we did the Airbnb.
So who filmed that one?
That was a local producer. I won't name them at the moment, but local producer from Dallas.
That's cool. That's freaking cool that you were able to do that. And so besides the obvious inspirations for you growing up in the valley, or the valley in Texas, not the valley in California, the Selena, of course. What other inspirations do you have of music that you like to hear, that you enjoy for yourself? What are they?
I mean, I'm definitely immersed in the Latin urban genre. Reggaeton, I listen to daily, so we're Alex Rose, Mickey Woods, Bad Bunny. So I'm just very immersed in in the music.
What will be your dream collab? Of course, I'm pretty sure right now Bad Bunny, but throughout history of all the music, who will be your dream collab for you?
Throughout like history, dream collab. Wow, that's like a big one. I feel like it would have to be somebody that's just not here anymore, maybe. But yeah, I would say like maybe Mike Towers would be one.
Yeah. You like him a lot? What do you like about his? I like him. He's cool. But what is it?
I love that his music are like stories, kind of like mine. I feel, that we connect in that way.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if he's writing like his lyrics out of experiences like I am, but if you listen to his lyrics, like a lot of his songs are kind of like, stories in a song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny business when he gets to the bigger artists. But some of them are. Some are very artistic in their area too. So it would be pretty cool if he did. And then I can link up for a track.
Yeah, and I love his voice.
Yeah. So not only Selena, but you had Shakira, Christina Aguilera, Ricky Martin, Snoop Dogg, Beyonce, Bob Marley. Why did you like reggae, like regular reggae? What was the liking of it?
I just grew up with it, I think. I heard it a lot, like in the household, Bob Marley especially. And like I said, I grew up on the island, so I feel like it was maybe just kind of that whole island vibe of what I remember growing up.
I think you will have to, if you're in the beach, you will have to listen to some kind of reggae to be within the vibe at least once during the time that you're there, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you're right.
I mean, there's nothing like it. It's just a whole vibe,
It is.
Literally.
It is a whole vibe. Okay, so have you talked about has anybody approached you to doing any kind of movies or anything like that?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Are you wanting to experiment in that area? Are you wanting to, if the opportunity presents itself, to do something?
I haven't thought about it, but now that you mentioned it and we kind of dug a little bit into my mom's past, it wouldn't surprise me, that it may be something that I would dabble in at some point. Yeah.
So what would you say as far as your music and the reason why you do music now? What's the purpose of it? Or what you're trying to accomplish whenever you're creating music? Because some of your lyrics vary. Some of them are, very not too sexual or whatever, but it does mention a little bit of the stuff like that. And some of them are very different type of vibes. So what would you say as far as your purpose for making music now is?
Definitely, I think music is a form of art, and I think art is important in our lives.
Yeah.
I think it's important as a part of growth and kind of just learning who we are as individuals and, embracing self-expression. So that's what I would.
For you, as far as like creating, and do you think you always had it in you, or because of the heartbreak, it kind of like really, really amplified that?
I think I always had it in me. And I think we all always have whatever it is that we're searching for in us. It just, things happen in our lives that maybe sometimes kind of wake up whatever it is that's in us, but we always had it in us all along, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I think we do. And I think whether it would be like a life-changing event, like a wreck or anything, certain things do drive certain emotions to trigger something that we had dormant in us to push it out.
Right.
And go and do something instead of just living like, I don't want to say normal, because still living is life, right? But there's other things that you can experiment within being here, even though it's a short time, that it can push you to do different things instead of what everybody would consider normal.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. All right. And as far as, so any other collabos that you have? Of course, we talked about the Mandy Rapper. Is there any other one pending that you have, that you are working on, that you can't really talk about, but or is there other ones that I missed so far?
Currently, no, just today's video, tune into that. And of course, as I mentioned before, Pensando en Ti recently dropped. That's the newest collab that everybody can check out. And it's more of a love song. It's a little bit more like Latin R&B.
Yeah.
So less reggaeton vibe. But again, it's like just perfect in time for like Valentine's Day. So
Let's talk about that. The reason, so you've been doing a lot more, we can say Spanglish type of music, like English and Spanish.
right.
And I think, so I MC weddings and quinceañeras and stuff like that. I used to MC clubs.
Right.
But now I do more of that. And a lot of the demand for me is because they ask for English and Spanish.
Right.
Like, can you do in English and Spanish? And I'm good at doing that. And I think songs like Telepatía is one of my favorite jams because it switches, and it's so crazy that we don't even pay attention that you're jamming in English one moment and then all of a sudden you're singing in Spanish or the other way around.
Right.
But because we're so fluent with the language, English and Spanish, that we don't realize how quick that switch is, and it happens.
Yeah.
So is that what you saw as far as the need to want to do something, or do you feel like sharing your culture with the world, that it is essential for you to do it in both?
Definitely sharing the culture with the world. It's essential to provide, both options, English and Spanish. Like give the listener, the full experience.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important to keep pushing our culture over to expose it to different people, especially yourself, all over to Iran and Italy and different places?
Because our culture is music. Music comes from our culture.
Yeah.
So we have to be proud of it and share that as much as we can with the world and just, spread it like fire.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I love that very much. Yeah. Okay, so we're running short on time, but tell me all of your social media one more time. Where can they find you at?
KristalSkies.com for any just new updates, new collabs, keeping up with the news. And Instagram, Kristal Skies, KristalSkies.
Okay. And once again, coming soon, we have we have Ride or Die.
Yes.
We have Genie. We have Enloqueciendo and the MB Rider collabo that's dropping soon. So be on the lookout for that. What is an advice? It's crazy to me that I'm asking you for advice because you're just been doing it for a shorter time.
I know.
For the artists in the local scene, the DFW local scene, I call them independent artists. I like that term better for me. But what would your advice be to them? Because I'm not saying you like an example, but the work ethic, and I understand it's more deeper than that because of the way you were made.
Right.
But what will be something that you can advise to them as far as being consistent with it, or even finding some way to still keep it rolling and keep it moving as far as the music?
Definitely number one, like we said before, believing in yourself. I have it here on my jacket. Never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up, believe in yourself and stay consistent, make yourself to-do lists, like stay strict with yourself and get yourself on a routine and realize that this is a business just like any other, and, stay passionate while you're doing it. Don't lose the passion. Don't get lost in the business and keep the passion there. But, it's a balance, but anyone can do it if you put your mind to it and you just believe in yourself. So.
I just had a clip that I was going to be posting later on about the same thing. Like, I feel funny about how people idolize celebrities.
Right.
Which, again, teach their own. But I feel like if you was to put the effort to it, did you know that you could be that if you wanted to?
Right.
Like, you can do it too.
Absolutely.
But you choose not to. But just know that within you, you have it to do it if you desire to do so.
Yes, you had it in you all along.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And merch, besides the projects, any videos that you have that you're going to be moving on to next after the one you drop, Amor Irregular?
Yes, I want to do something for both Genie and Ride or Die.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to throw my hat in there, like the council show, and say if you need an actor. I might not have been on an international um, Latino TV show. If y'all find me, y'all can post it. If not, then and I might have made a cameo in a couple of videos.
Cameo for Ride or Die, though, for sure, because, that's going to be more, like I said, car club scene. So
I gotta see who's over there because I might not be able to be welcome, but
I want a
I'm just
group
kidding.
thing. No.
Let me know who's over there, and then I'll let you know if I can. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I show up anywhere. To be honest, I don't go out much anywhere, any place, because I really usually just focus on this,
Right.
or focus on doing whatever gig I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I can show up.
All right.
I wear
Make
my
some
shirt.
time for it.
And any merchandise for you. So I know that you make some of the jeans you created. I know that you style yourself for your videos.
Right.
So first of all, the look on all your videos is wild. How some scenes you're wearing a purple wig or look, and then with the outfit, I don't know about all that stuff. That's
all
y'all
good.
ladies. But I know that it switches a lot, and you change it, and you do a lot of the styling yourself, correct?
I do. Yeah.
That's freaking crazy.
Yes.
Do you have any experience as far as that? Or of course, being a woman and knowing how to dress like a woman, but is there anything that you look up?
Like experience in styling and stuff. I mean, throughout college, I worked a lot of retail jobs. So I would definitely say, just being like in the industry in that respect. But a lot of it, like I have said before, it's just a form of like self-expression in the creative form.
Gotcha. So you went to college? Did you graduate? I mean, I didn't, but did you?
I do. I have a degree.
What is it in? If you don't mind
I
me?
only have an associate's.
That's all good. What is it in?
Business.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like a couple of credits short of associates in business administration.
Oh, okay.
But I said, no, thank you. I'll
Yeah.
pass. But it's cool, though. I appreciate that. That's freaking dope.
Yeah.
So the retail, you kind of sort of got a little bit of an idea, and then kind of sort of from there, you started just beginning styling yourself.
Yeah, for creative form of self-expression.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. And is there merch that you're planning to do with other knowledge that you have done? So far?
I would love to do like a line of sunglasses and gloves one day.
So no shirts, no other garments?
Yeah, shirts, caps, all the basics that you would see.
Yeah.
T-shirts, caps, and posters.
I would love to see them whenever you have them out.
Okay.
Well, it depends. I don't know if I can sport the pink ones like that.
You
But
can.
if any other ones you have, I don't care. I'm down to wear whatever. But I got to see if it goes with.
Or maybe like a customized pair of jeans.
Yeah, that's true. Because you also do that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who would you like to give any shout outs? Any shout outs that you have?
All the listeners, everybody tuning into your show. I love your show. I've watched it many times.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everyone over at, KNON, all the MCs that I've worked with throughout all of Dallas. I've done so much performing throughout the city. The city has been just so good to me. The community has. So just thank you guys for that.
Yeah. And do you have any other shows lined up here in the near future?
Yes, February 11th, I'll be in Euless.
Euless?
Yes, and I'll be posting that information up on social media.
So you don't have any information for that one yet?
It's at a venue. I don't recall the name at the moment, but it is with DFW Music, and it's going to be like a pre-Super Bowl kind of performance. So
Okay, so you've been doing a lot of DFW music, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing different shows. I don't know who they are.
yeah, and they do a lot of shows out of like Haltom Theater, and I love that. It's a really cool venue.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a couple more questions, then I'm gonna let you go. What is an important lesson, even though you're being young in the music business, but you can even talk about it in general about life. What is something important, a very important lesson that you learn that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else?
Like in my life now, a lesson through the music.
If you wanted to talk about it, life in general or the music.
Okay. Just definitely staying true to yourself. As I mentioned before, believing in yourself and knowing that whatever it is, you always had it in you. It doesn't necessarily take something else for you to do that. You have it in you. You just need to believe in yourself. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was telling somebody else in the business that a lot of the times now it's not that. I mean, you still have to have the music and the talent, right? But a lot of the times, you really have to do the craft to, or other people would gravitate and believe that you are that who you say you are.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, it'll be like, just another guy, just another girl, just
Absolutely.
another whatever.
Right.
Yeah. From growing up and, being just, a little girl with dreams to do music and kind of sort of imagining you will be doing it one day and, singing through the paper towel roll to, being in a choir and kind of sort of like letting that dream die out a little bit. But then things happen, life happened. And within the last 2 years, I usually like to have people that have been doing it longer, 5 or so, to know they're committed. But I don't know that I just seen something in you as far as being consistent and always working and different things like that I made me want to reach out. And I reached out to come out and share your story and highlight you as a person of all the things you're done. Because you not only are you doing the music, but you really, I don't know if you use Google or how you get your information. Or YouTube, as far as finding the knowledge, as far as what it takes to be an artist or do that.
Right.
But you're definitely do that. And from coming from where you came from to being to where you're at within the time frame and really reaching the world, because to me, the Global Latin Factor is really everything that we're done and reaching the world. There's no doubt for me that you are a Global Latin Factor. So Kristal Skies, you are a Global Latin Factor. Thank you for being here.
Straight up. Thank you.
Last question before I let you go, this time for real, because I'm full of questions, is many years from now, if somebody was to look you up, Google you, or some kind of search engine many years from now, what do you hope for them to find about you, about your life or anything?
Definitely just, again, that I live my life to fulfill my purpose in the music industry, and hopefully a lot of Grammys under my belt at that point. So, yeah.
You're definitely shooting for the Grammys for sure.
I mean, I think so. Why not?
Yeah. Well,
at least one.
Everything's possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember, we're just like you. We're people. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Until next time. Thank you very much for checking out another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. You are very important, and it means a lot to us whenever you go and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notifications whenever we have new episodes. It really does truly mean a lot to us. Thank you very much.
De la Vigo, walks like a pero but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and reach from Puerto Rico on a pirate ship, you don't know where do we go. The birds of the jungle chasing fortune and fame, but who are